The gala was shimmering with chandeliers and clinking champagne glasses, an evening where status was currency, and Anna Green held all the cards. Dressed in a dazzling custom sequined gown, the 19-year-old heiress stood tall, her perfectly curled blonde hair cascading over her shoulder like a shampoo commercial. Lila Carter entered quietly in a borrowed dress with frayed seams and patched heels. She offered a nervous smile. Anna narrowed her eyes, turned to the crowd and said, "Oh look, Goodwill sent their best model." Laughter erupted. Lila's smile faltered. Anna added, "Careful not to trip, Li. Your dress might fall apart before dessert." But Lila didn't cry. She straightened her spine, dignity radiating beneath shame. The laughter eventually faded. The room kept spinning. The chandeliers kept sparkling. But something had shifted. Just as Anna raised her glass in smug triumph, a messenger stepped in, placing a thick, sealed envelope into her hand. Anna opened it, her face drained of color. Anna's hands shook. The letter was typed, clinical, emotionless, but the message gutted her. Her father, Gregory Green, had passed away earlier that day. No warning. No goodbye. Her world shattered. The crowd around her noticed her sudden stillness. "Anna, are you okay?" someone asked, but she couldn't answer. Lila, still standing nearby, took an uncertain step forward, concern softening her face. Anna looked up sharply, folding the letter against her chest. She didn't want pity, especially not from Lila. She turned away and stormed out of the ballroom, heels clicking like gunfire against the marble. Lila stood frozen, torn between following or leaving her alone. The room was silent now. The celebration had ended before dessert. Anna slammed her bedroom door shut, breathing hard. The silence was deafening. This wasn't just grief. It was the unraveling of her identity. Her father had always been her compass, her shield. Without him, everything felt unstable. She looked around the room filled with luxury. Velvet drapes, gold trim, a closet overflowing with designer labels. It all felt hollow now. She read the letter again. There was more. She was now the primary inheritor of Green Enterprises. Millions, thought. A legacy. And a responsibility. "I'm 19, she whispered to herself, voice cracking. "I'm not ready." Then came the shock. Her father had named a co-heir. A name she hadn't heard in years. Lila Carter. Her hands went cold. Lila sat quietly on a bench outside the estate, her fingers gripping the fabric of her worn dress. The night was still, but her thoughts raced. She hadn't meant to come tonight, just an invitation out of obligation. But seeing Anna again, feeling the sting of humiliation, it had reopened old wounds. Lila remembered their childhood, before money and envy tore them apart. They used to build forts in the greenhouse. She remembered Anna laughing, barefoot and wild. That version of her felt like another person. Lila sighed. She didn't know about the letter. Not yet. She had no idea her life was about to change forever. The next morning, Anna stared at herself in the bathroom mirror, her eyes red-rimmed, her hair disheveled. She hadn't slept. The words, Lila Carter, echoed like a curse. Her father's voice haunted her, his warnings about arrogance, about loyalty. But she never listened. Now she had no choice. She opened her closet and pulled out a plain white blouse, the first non-label item she had touched in years. Her fingers trembled. The butler knocked gently. "Miss Green, the lawyer is here." Anna swallowed hard. Her new reality had arrived, and it was wrapped in the name of the girl she once humiliated. The office was cold, not in temperature, but in tone. Anna sat across from her father's attorney, Mr. Halberd, a silver-haired man whose words carried legal finality. "Your father designated you as the inheritor," he said, "but the company's future hinges on both names on this document." Anna's fingers gripped the arms of her chair. "Why her?" she snapped. Halberd didn't flinch. "Because Gregory trusted Lila's integrity. Something you've yet to demonstrate." Anna looked away, heat rising to her face. I can run this alone, she muttered. Albert slid the folder toward her. Not without her signature. On the final page, next to Anna's printed name, was another, Lila Carter. Her father's voice echoed in her mind. Don't let money blind you to character. And now, she couldn't escape the truth. His trust in Lila had outlived him. Meanwhile, Lila returned to her job at the local diner, wiping down booths with the same quiet focus she had always carried. She hadn't yet received any call or letter, just the memory of humiliation from the gala, burning behind her eyes. Her coworker Maya leaned over and whispered, "Why do you even go to those events?" Lila shrugged. "Sometimes I still think she might change," she admitted softly. Maya scoffed. "People like that? They don't change. They just fall harder." Just then, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. "Lila Carter?" the voice asked. "This is about Gregory Green's estate." Lila dropped the cloth in her hand. Maya's eyes widened. "What is it?" she asked. But Lila just stared ahead, speechless, as the world she knew began to tilt. Anna stood in her father's home office, a place she used to avoid, but now felt magnetically drawn to. Shelves of leather-bound books, awards, and framed memories lined the walls. On the desk sat a photo, Gregory smiling with arms around two little girls, Anna and Lila. Anna's breath caught. She had forgotten that photo even existed. She remembered that summer. They were inseparable. Lila practically lived at the Green estate. Back when things were simple. Before money became a weapon. Her eyes welled up, and for once, Anna didn't wipe the tears away. She sat in her father's chair and looked out the window. "What did you see in her that you didn't in me?" she whispered. But deep down she already knew the answer. She just wasn't ready to admit it yet. Lila arrived at the Green estate the next morning, confusion and disbelief clinging to her like fog. She stepped out of a rideshare car, staring at the towering gates she hadn't seen since childhood. A housekeeper opened the door with a gentle nod. "They're expecting you." Every step inside echoed memory. Hide and seek in the library, movie nights in the theater room, giggles over forbidden ice cream. But now, the house felt like a museum. She was led to the sunroom where Anna waited, stiff-backed and defensive. "You've got some nerve," Anna said sharply. Lila blinked. "I was asked to come." Anna threw a folder onto the table. "My father wanted you involved. So congratulations, you're now a co-owner of everything I built nothing of." Lila stared at the papers, then looked up with quiet fire. "He trusted me, that's what matters." As the sun set, Anna wandered into the estate's greenhouse, the one place untouched by time or arrogance. The scent of soil and blooming jasmine wrapped around her like a forgotten lullaby. This was where they used to play, her and Lila, hiding under banana leaves, making up stories about saving the world. She knelt beside a wilted planter, brushing dust off a small ceramic turtle they once buried together, and swore was magical. A tear slipped down her cheek. Maybe it had been. Maybe Lila still carried that magic, integrity, honesty, grounding. She had mocked what she feared, the strength Lila had never needed to flaunt. Behind her, footsteps approached. "Lila, dotting." No words were spoken. They simply stood there, two versions of the same childhood, now blooming in opposite directions. Lila sat at a long oak conference table, surrounded by high-level executives who barely acknowledged her presence. Across from her, Anna wore a tailored black suit and a frozen expression. The first board meeting since Gregory's passing had begun, and it was tense. "We have obligations to the shareholders," barked one director. Anna leaned forward, confident. "I'll handle media and public engagement. No offense, but Lila doesn't know this world." Murmurs of agreement. Lila didn't flinch. "No offense taken," she replied calmly. "But I do know the people your campaigns ignore." Silence. Anna blinked. "What's that supposed to mean?" Lila met her gaze. "You're polished, Anna, but being seen isn't the same as being trusted." A pause. For the first time, the board looked at Lila. Anna felt something she hadn't, in years' doubt. Later that evening, Anna scrolled through comments online. Rich witch, daughter of privilege, she let her friend suffer. Her perfectly manicured finger hovered over the screen, shaking. Lila, by contrast, was trending. People loved her humility, her grace, her story. Anna flung her phone across the bed. The bitterness crept in fast. Of course they love her, she muttered. They don't know what it's like to carry this family name. Downstairs, staff whispered about the mood shift. Even the loyal butler hesitated before knocking. "Dinner, Ms. Green?" She ignored him. She wanted to scream, to break something. But instead, she buried her face in her pillow and cried. Not out of guilt, out of fear. For the first time, Anna realized she was losing everything her name used to protect. At a local community center, Lila stood behind a folding table, handing out care packages and supplies. She wasn't doing it for press, it's what she always did. Kids ran up to hug her. Elders nodded in respect. A journalist watched quietly, taking notes. "You don't have PR handlers?" they asked. Lila shook her head. "I just show up." The article would go viral by morning. Meanwhile, Anna's attempts to repair her image were backfiring. Flashy posts, staged charity shoots, it all felt forced. "You're not relatable," her PR manager told her. "They want heart, not headlines." Anna looked up sharply. "What do you want me to do? Start handing out rice bags?" The PR manager sighed. "Maybe start by apologizing to the one person you used to care about." The silence after that said more than either of them could. Gregory's will was reopened for final clarification. Anna and Lila sat side by side in the attorney's office, tense, silent, surrounded by legal files. "There's a section you haven't read yet," Mr. Halbert said, sliding over a sealed envelope. Anna opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a letter handwritten by Gregory. He spoke of legacy, of love, and of regret. "Anna," it read, "you were born into power. Lila earned it. You must learn from her, not fight her." Anna blinked rapidly, trying to hold back tears. Lila quietly looked away, giving her space. "I loved you both, equally, but differently," Gregory had written. The room was still. Finally Anna whispered, "I don't deserve this." Halbert looked at her kindly. "Then prove you do." The burden of inheritance had just shifted, heavily. Later that night, Lila walked alone down a quiet street, the wind tugging at her coat. The day's weight settled on her shoulders. She never asked for any of this. She never wanted power. But now she was in it. And she realized something. Maybe she could make a difference. Not just with charity drives, but at the very top. At the same time, Anna stood on her balcony overlooking the city, gripping the letter in her hand. Her father's words echoed. "Earn it." She looked up at the skyline. Beautiful, intimidating, and now partially hers. Somewhere in that glowing city, Lila was walking the same road, literally and metaphorically. Two girls from two worlds, now bound by a legacy they didn't ask for, and choices that would define them. The war hadn't begun, but it was coming. Anna arrived unannounced at Lila's apartment. It was modest, clean but cramped, with peeling paint and creaky floors. Lila looked up from the sink, surprised. "What are you doing here?" Anna stepped inside, the contrast to her usual world hitting her instantly. "I need to know something," she said. "Why did my father trust you more than me?" Lila sighed, drying her hands. "He didn't trust me more. He just knew I wouldn't fake it." Anna's eyes narrowed. "Fake what?" "Everything," Lila replied. "Your smile, your kindness, even your grief." Anna flinched. "I am grieving." Lila softened. "I believe you, but you hide it behind control." For a moment, Anna looked genuinely lost. "I don't know who I am without control," she whispered. And for the first time, Lila didn't see a rival. She saw a girl breaking open. The next day, Lila received a sealed envelope from the Green legal office. Inside was a set of documents marked confidential. Her eyes scanned the pages. Acquisition records? What is this? A highlighted section made her stomach drop. Years ago, Gregory had purchased the Carter family's land, under false pretenses, land once used for a thriving community center, now bulldozed for a green enterprises project. Lila's father never recovered financially, and Gregory had never told her. She clutched the papers, heart racing. He owed us, she whispered. Then she saw another page, compensation package pending, inheritance trust established in Lila Carter's name. The co-ownership wasn't charity. It was repayment. Her breath caught. He knew all along, she murmured. He left me what he took. The inheritance wasn't generosity. It was guilt. Anna stormed into the corporate archives building, demanding answers. She wasn't ready for what she found. A dusty ledger, handwritten notes from Gregory, and a folder marked acquisitions, Carter Estate. She flipped through it, her fingers trembling. Contracts, bank transfers, internal memos, all confirming that her father's empire was partially built on deception. Her throat tightened. He lied to me, she muttered. Footsteps approached. Mr. Halbert entered. He didn't lie, he said gently. He protected you from the cost of ambition. Anna stared at him, voice breaking. And now I'm paying for it. He nodded. But you get to choose how. She collapsed into a chair, overwhelmed. The story she had clung to, hard work, legacy, privilege, was crack. Maybe Lila deserved more than I ever did, she whispered. Lila arrived at the green estate, letter in hand. Anna met her in the foyer, tense and guarded. You knew, Lila said coldly. Anna blinked. Knew what? Lila held up the documents. Your family stole from mine. That's why I'm here, not because he believed in me, because he owed me. The words hit like a slap. Anna staggered back. I didn't know, she said quietly. But you mocked me while standing on what was ours, Lila said. Every laugh, every insult, you were laughing from my father's land. Anna's voice cracked. You think I'm proud of that? Silence. Lila stepped closer. I don't think you know what to be anymore. Anna's eyes welled up. I don't. The confrontation wasn't explosive. It was quiet, piercing, and it left Anna more hollow than anger ever could. Later that night, Anna stood in her father's study again, lit only by the fireplace glow. She clutched an old photo of the three of them, herself, Lila, and Gregory. It had been in the bottom drawer, nearly forgotten. She sat in his chair staring into the flames. You knew she was better than me, she whispered. That's why you gave it to her. But she wasn't bitter anymore. Just empty. A knock. Lila entered slowly. I didn't come to fight, she said. I came to ask what we're going to do. Anna looked up. For the first time, no pride, no posing. Just honesty. I want to fix this, if you'll let me. Lila nodded. Then we start by telling the truth. The flames crackled between them, two girls at the edge of something new. The boardroom was packed. Journalists, executives, shareholders, all waiting. Anna and Lila sat side by side, facing a media storm they hadn't fully prepared for. The press conference was meant to be simple, an announcement of shared leadership. But Anna had rewritten her speech last minute. Before we begin, she said into the microphone, I need to say something. She looked at Lila. My family made mistakes. I made mistakes. Lila didn't inherit this company as a gift. She inherited it because my father was making it right. Gasps rippled through the room. Lila stared, wide-eyed. Anna continued, I mocked her. I disrespected her, and I did it while standing on ground my family took from hers. Silence followed. Then, applause. Small at first. Then louder. Lila reached out slowly and placed her hand over Anna's. This was no longer about power. It was about healing. In the aftermath, the online world exploded. Clips of Anna's speech went viral. Hashtags flooded every platform. Anna Green owns her mistakes, read one. Lila Carter. The soul of Green Enterprises, read another. Lila remained quiet, declining interviews. But Anna sat down for one. When asked why she came forward publicly, she simply said, "Because the truth was bigger than my reputation." It stunned the nation. Not because it was perfect, but because it was human. In private, Lila called her that night. "I didn't expect that," she said. "Neither did I," Anna replied. "But I meant every word." There was a pause. Then Lila said, "If we're going to do this, let's really change something, not just run it. Fix it." And for the first time, Anna didn't feel like she was inheriting her father's legacy. She felt like she was building her own. Inside Green Enterprises, a quiet transformation began. Lila spearheaded a program to rebuild the community center on the land her family had lost. Anna approved it without hesitation. They held the groundbreaking ceremony together, side by side. Investors were skeptical at first, but results started to show. Morale inside the company surged. Internal emails leaked. "Finally feels like someone upstairs sees us." Anna walked through the open concept office one day and heard her name spoken in admiration, not fear. That stunned her. In the break room she found Lila pouring coffee for interns. "You don't have to do that," Anna said. Lila shrugged. "Neither did your dad. But maybe if he had, we wouldn't be here." Anna nodded slowly. "Then we'll do better, together." For the first time, it didn't feel like a compromise. It felt like a promise. But change didn't come without resistance. At a private investor dinner, an older board member confronted Anna. "You're letting charity run a business," he sneered. Anna looked him straight in the eye. "I'm letting character run it," she replied. He scoffed, but others around the table remained quiet, contemplative. Lila, across the room, overheard. Afterward, she approached Anna in the hallway. "You didn't have to defend me," she said. "Yes, I did," Anna replied. "Because I used to be him." Lila smiled softly. "No, you used to listen to him. Now, you're listening to yourself." Anna exhaled, leaning against the wall. "Is it weird that I'm proud of this? Of us?" Lila nodded. "Only if you forget what it took to get here." Their victories weren't measured in applause, but in who they were becoming. Back at the greenhouse, where it all began, Anna and Lila stood surrounded by newly planted herbs and flowers. They had restored it together, keeping it as a sanctuary for staff and children alike. "Funny," Anna said, brushing dirt from her hands. "How this place feels more like legacy than the office tower ever did." Lila smiled. "Because this is where we were real." They placed a small plaque in the soil between them, in honor of what grew here. A symbolic end. And a beginning. Anna looked around. "Do you think he'd be proud?" Lila didn't hesitate. "I think he'd finally see you." Anna blinked, holding back tears. Then for once, she didn't hide it. They stood there in silence, letting the sun warm their skin. Two girls who were no longer enemies. Just people, planting something honest. Months later, Green Enterprises had transformed from a sterile corporation into a socially conscious brand. Inside the headquarters, a new mural stretched across the lobby, depicting a city skyline interwoven with roots and branches. Employees stopped to admire it. Lila walked through the space, clipboard in hand, now a natural leader. Anna followed, offering a genuine smile to a group of interns. "Is that Green?" someone whispered. Not with mockery, just surprise. Anna overheard and laughed. "Yes, and I make coffee now too." The joke landed. Later in the break room, Anna told Lila, "It's strange. I used to walk through these halls needing everyone to see me. Now, I just want to see them." Lila looked up. "That's why they're finally seeing you." And she meant it. This wasn't about redemption anymore. It was about responsibility, and Anna was finally carrying it. On a weekend retreat, organized for company staff and their families, Anna stood barefoot on a lakeshore, helping set up a picnic tent. The old Anna would have hired 10 people for this. Now, she laughed as the wind knocked over a folding chair. Lila sat nearby with a group of children, showing them how to fold paper cranes. One little girl tugged on Anna's sleeve. "Are you the boss?" Anna knelt beside her and smiled. "Sometimes. But today, I'm just the helper." Lila watched the moment from a distance and felt something loosen in her chest. Later, they sat beneath a tree, passing a bottle of lemonade. This feels real," Anna said. "Because it is real," Lila replied. "And no one can fake that." They watched the sun dip behind the trees, knowing this was the life they chose, not the one they were handed. News broke that Green Enterprises had been nominated for a National Ethics Award in business, a sharp contrast from its past reputation. During a press shoot, Anna wore a simple navy dress and stood beside Lila, both smiling for the cameras, though the moment felt surreal. Afterward, in a quiet hallway, Anna said, "If someone told me a year ago that I'd be proud of this company, I would have laughed in their face." Lila chuckled. "You probably did." Anna nodded. "And yet here we are." The recognition wasn't the reward, it was the reflection. Anna had changed. Not because of the inheritance, but in spite of it. "Do you think we deserve it?" she asked. Lila didn't hesitate. "No, but we earned it." That difference meant everything. The applause in the next room was loud, but it wasn't what echoed. It was the truth between them. Weeks later, Anna sat with her therapist, something she'd never imagined herself doing. The room was quiet, filled with warm tones and soft fabrics. "I used to think being strong meant being cold," she said. "Now I'm learning strength can look like saying sorry, or listening, or letting someone else lead." The therapist nodded. "That sounds like growth." Anna laughed softly. "Feels more like unlearning." Meanwhile, Lila was at the new community center, teaching financial literacy to single mothers. "You're not just helping us," one woman said. "You're changing what we believe is possible." That night, Anna and Lila shared updates over dinner. No business talk, just stories and laughter. Two women who had unlearned rivalry and redefined legacy. They weren't just rebuilding a company. They were rebuilding each other. One rainy afternoon, Anna visited her father's grave alone. Umbrella in one hand, letter in the other. She knelt and placed the envelope on the stone. "You were wrong about a lot," she whispered. "But you were right about Lila. And maybe, you were right to trust me too." A breeze rustled the trees. She stood slowly, no longer needing permission to move forward. Back at the greenhouse, Lila walked through the rows, now lush and thriving. Children played nearby, laughter filling the air. She paused at the plaque, in honor of what grew here. She smiled. It wasn't about what was lost anymore. It was about what was growing. Anna returned minutes later, umbrella dripping, smile soft. "You ready?" Lila asked. Anna nodded. "Let's get back to work." The rain slowed to a mist, and the future stood wide open. Green Enterprises hosted its first Community Impact Gala under new leadership. The ballroom, once a monument to excess, now featured local artists, non-profit booths, and open invitations for all income levels. No velvet rope. No judgment. Lila walked through the crowd answering questions and laughing with guests. Anna stood off to the side, hands clasped, watching it all unfold with quiet awe. "You okay?" Lila asked, approaching. Anna nodded. "I never imagined this room could feel like something more than a performance." Lila smiled. "That's because you stopped performing." Across the room, a young woman stepped up to the mic. "Thanks to the Green Foundation, I got my first scholarship," she said. Anna's eyes welled up. She wasn't the hero of the story, but maybe she'd helped make space for one. And that was enough. Backstage, Anna sat on a folding chair, nerves fluttering. It was her turn to speak. Lila joined her, adjusting her blazer. "You've done harder things," she said. This is just the easy part. Anna let out a laugh. It's funny. For so long I thought the hardest part was running the company. Turns out, the hardest part was facing who I really was. Lila nodded. You faced her, and you changed her. The curtain parted slightly, and applause echoed through. Anna stood slowly. Do I look okay? She asked. Lila smirked. You look real. Anna smiled and stepped onto the stage. Not for glory, not for power, but to tell the truth. Her voice didn't shake this time. I used to think this company was my inheritance, she began. But my real inheritance was the chance to make it better than it was. As Anna stepped down from the stage, a wave of quiet surrounded her. No screaming applause, just stillness. The kind of silence that meant people were actually listening. She rejoined Lila, who offered no praise, just a look of calm satisfaction. They didn't need to say anything. But a small voice from the crowd called out, "Thank you." It was the same girl who had spoken earlier. Others echoed it. A simple word, passed from stranger to stranger. Anna stood still, absorbing it. She hadn't earned forgiveness with words. She had earned it with change. Later that night, she and Lila walked outside into the night air, heels in hand. You think this lasts? Anna asked. It does if we keep walking, Lila replied. Side by side they disappeared into the night. Partners, not opponents. The past behind them. The future, unwritten. Weeks later a new sign was installed on the company headquarters, Green and Carter Initiative. The press asked why the change. Lila answered simply, because it was never meant to be about one name. Inside the lobby a new mission statement hung beneath the mural, Profit with Purpose. Legacy with Truth. Employees walked by, some stopping to take photos. In the executive office, now shared equally between Anna and Lila, both women stood by the window. I think he would have hated the name, Anna joked. Lila laughed. But I think he'd love the outcome. They clinked coffee mugs, not champagne. No need to celebrate power. Just purpose. Downstairs, a school group entered for a field tour. Anna leaned forward to watch them. That used to be us, she whispered. Then let's make sure they have better examples, Lila replied. In the greenhouse, long after hours, Anna sat alone with a sketchbook in her lap. She was designing a new project, something sustainable, community-driven, and legacy-proof. Lila entered quietly, carrying 2 cups of tea. Still working? She asked. Always, Anna smiled. But it's different now. I'm not chasing something. I'm growing something. Lila handed her a cup and sat beside her. They watched as evening light filtered through the glass ceiling, bathing the room in golden hues. You know, Anna said softly, I used to think the story was about me learning to lead. Lila looked over. And now, Anna exhaled. Now I think it's about learning to follow where the right values lead us. The last shot held them both in frame. No crowns, no drama. Just 2 women who became better, because they learned to build, not inherit.